All right.
Recording.
Is it? Okay. So we haven't recorded in a while, but Anne from GGI wanted us to kind of share our relocation story to put on her GGI digital magazine. And for those who might be watching our friends or on our YouTube channel, GGI is basically a nonprofit organization which tries to connect and empower women from all over the world who might who are like global minded and also travel a lot or want to travel. So I was the community manager for GGI London chapter, for example, and that one has about 4,000 members. So most of the major cities have a GGI chapter, so maybe if you're moving there and you want to meet like-minded women and make friends, that's a really great way of doing it. So I'll put a link down below if you want any more information about GGI. But
what's it stand for?
Girls Gone International. Thanks.
No worries.
So I thought we could share kind of, the whole kind of thought process and everything about why you've decided to come Seattle way with me. And
that's such a funny way of putting it. Because we're married, Ariko.
Yeah.
That's why I've decided to come.
Well,
I'm going to be left on my own.
No, I know, but it's funny because so basically I got a job offer, a promotion. So I'm going to be moving. As they asked me to come back to the States, so we're moving back to Seattle. Short story, but when I was telling people, some people actually did ask, like one of the first questions they asked was, is Jamie coming with you? So, potentially could have been an option, I guess. Like maybe not in our minds. I feel like
no one thinks our marriage is serious. I feel like they think it's a sham marriage, if that's what they're asking.
Yeah.
He's coming with you?
What?
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Why do you think? Why was it, do you think they were surprised?
I think, it's definitely, maybe I might be overthinking it, but part of it was I think that it's really still rare. And I do have friends who are in the same situation, but I do think it's still rare that a guy, the male partner would be moving for the female partner. That's the unfortunate situation, and so maybe a lot of people were surprised to hear that.
Okay.
Yeah. But do you feel like you got that response at all, or not from your friends though?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think I don't think I did. I'm trying to put it in a context because I'm not. I don't think I'm part of a group that's quite like GGI. It's quite a unique thing.
Mm-hmm.
All the girls, the ladies I've met, it's it's a pretty awesome thing. And I now I'm traveling. I'm like, is there a Gone Guy International? I don't know. I need to start thinking about that for myself. Like, is there some sort of way you can go and find it? And I doubt there probably is, for the exact reason why there's that kind of assumption or whatever that.
That's interesting. You need to start one then, huh?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But
what would it be called? MMI.
Yeah. Males match. No, that you want to do that one. That's something different. But that's like left over. But I think I don't know if I did. I don't think I did. I think all of our friends, close friends, they know us.
Yeah.
They came to the wedding, so they know it's real.
Yeah. They know it's real. Yeah.
So I don't think they did.
Yeah.
And a lot of our friends know you. Well, our friends are our friends, so they know you and they know your career as well. So
yeah, they know I'm career driven.
Yeah, they know you're career driven. So I don't think it was so much of a shock. I'm trying to think perhaps people I know. In hobby sense or anything that's perhaps outside of that's our closest circle. Yeah, that I'm trying to think when I was talking to them whether there was any shock and awe. No one said anything.
Yeah.
Because they're all British men, so they won't say anything. They'll all be like, yes, quite. Very
Although your guy friends were really encouraging, weren't they? They all. You said you talked to your close friends and.
Yeah, I mean to go back to, I guess, talk about the question that you got asked from my perspective is it was pretty straightforward for me, and it wasn't about, there was no career decision or career whose career is more important decision, or there was no gender decision in it for me, because I just don't think that factors into our relationship. I think there's probably a little bit of history in that, you're in England because of me. You moved here over 3.5 years ago, and you moved because, well, we wanted to live together because we've been doing long distance for about 2 years. 2 and a bit, 3 years, I suppose, at that point.
Yeah.
And I had a project. I had something on in my career that was like probably I'd say it was the biggest thing I've done to date. Doesn't necessarily mean it would be the biggest thing I ever did, but it's certainly important. And it was one of those passion projects.
Yeah.
And we talked at the time about whether I was going to move to Seattle or you were going to come here. And you said I remember you saying to me, look, I think you have to finish this project out.
Yeah.
Because I guess you could see in me it was an important project, important passion project. I was very invested in it.
Yeah.
And perhaps I don't think it's probably fair to say you weren't so enamoured with your work at the time, right?
Yeah, it was a little bit stagnant.
A bit stagnant.
Yeah.
And
I was enjoying it, but it was stagnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I think, like for me, just the fact that you did that, it made me, I just kind of thought at the time, there'll come a time when that has to flip around, right? It can't. We're both quite career focused, I guess, or we enjoy our careers. We like the good jobs we do. We're passionate about what we do, but it can't just be one sided. It can't always be you following me around doing stuff. It's got to be. There's got to be a flip in it, and I've always known that big promotion was going to come for you. I've always known that would be there because of how much you put into what you do. So in my head, at some point, we were going to have a decision to make about going somewhere else in the world. Happened probably a bit quicker than both of us thought it would.
Yeah.
But that's a whole separate discussion. But so for me, the decision to do it was pretty straightforward. Even regardless of all of the stuff we're having to sort through right now, and the stresses and all those sort of just unfortunate timings that have kicked us in the butt a little bit with it. It still was a pretty straightforward decision. It was kind of I'm supporting my wife. I'll go that way, and I'll make what I'm doing now work from there. I'll put the effort in to make what we're doing in my job, what I'm doing in my job, work from wherever I can be. But the important thing really was to go and support your choice, or your career move, because it's important, and there should be balance.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we've realized, I don't know if it was ever conscious, but through having this kind of conversation recently, I've realized that there's not, like, the gender roles aren't really a factor. If it was, that's when assumptions are made and expectations are made, and like how a female partner should be, or how a male partner should be, or how even like a married couple needs to be. Like, there's no kind of these like expectations or assumptions, and we're really like very, very equal. And so the way that we see our relationship is really like, it's a long term where we're gonna live a long time, especially me because I'm Japanese. But yeah, you have to like look at life in a really long term way. I'm just kidding. But you have different phases in life, and so when I moved, it was your time, and then now it's my time, and I do sincerely believe that there will be a time where it's you again, right? Like, I'll have to take a step back, and that doesn't necessarily have to be career necessarily. It can be about family. It can be just us getting older, and like maybe our interests change, or like we grow and like something different happens, or a different passion comes along. But I do think like it's just kind of everyone just has a time to shine, I guess, or like a time where the other person needs the most support. And so I think that's just how this relocation came about. When the first relocation, when I moved, I do think that there was a little bit of hang up, at least on my part, because when I first when we first started talking about the move, I definitely was like, whoa, am I gonna be the one that has to move again? Because everyone else that I know tends to be that the woman always sacrifices and all this stuff. And I did look at it as, oh, it's a sacrifice. But I think talking to you and realizing you didn't feel that way, and it was really kind of an equal discussion, really made me think, oh, it's not about expectations. He doesn't have any expectations. It's really just kind of a discussion. And you showing willingness to consider moving to Seattle at that time too made me be able to look at it as there's just two individuals, and one of us wants to move because we want to be together, not because we have to. And it just made sense at that time for me to move. But one of the things I definitely kept in mind is that I'm not moving for you, I'm moving for myself, because I want to be with you and I want to live with you, and I'm going to make it work for myself, right? So that there's no regret, there's no kind of negative mindset even when I'm over here, like, oh, because the first year is definitely hard, but the worst thing you can do is blame it on the other person and become resentful. So for me, I really even though moving to a new country, and it's weird because like America and England seem like they're so similar, but they're actually very different culturally.
I don't think they seem similar.
Yeah, I guess I thought
they seem similar at all.
I thought maybe it'd be easier. It's the same language, so I guess I thought it'd be easier than maybe me moving to like a completely foreign country where I can't speak the language. But there was a little bit of that culture shock. But I always thought, okay, this is a struggle that I'm going through, but it's for me. It's not, because if you're doing it for someone else, it becomes like resentment. You could put blame and fault on the other person. Yeah. So I think that really helped me make England, my life, and I really made an effort to create my own social life and my foundation, and that's where GGI really helped too, because as an adult, it's really hard to meet a lot of new friends very quickly, like if you were a student in a university or something. And I think what I really appreciate about GGI is that it's an instant community, and it's not like you get along with everyone, but generally speaking, everyone's well-traveled, or they're interested in getting to know people from around the world, even if they haven't traveled. So that's where I found kind of my family. So having that really helped.
We've talked about when we start a family, there's no assumption that any one of us is going to be the one to stay home.
Yeah.
I mean, I've even said, you foolish dog. That to me, I kind of like the idea of doing it, being stay-at-home dad. It appeals. I've seen some of my friends do it. I've seen certainly some of my friends or our friends share that responsibility way more than like when we were kids, than you traditionally see when we were kids, if at all, in fact. One of my friends, and when they had their little boy, he changed his whole career, he changed his whole thing, because he wanted to stay at home and raise his boy. And his wife, she's very cheers, Gabe. She's very career driven as well, and that's what they decided together. And to see him and his little boy, and how they've grown, and how he's been a dad, how they've kind of built their family, I think is a really beautiful thing. It's really cool. And more people, you could almost, they should advertise it, right? More dads should see that, I think, and see the joy and the happiness and the relationship that they've got. I think it's amazing, and the same for all of them. Same, for all three of them. Is really cute. And then, more recent years, I've met women who are doing really kind of high level jobs in big corporations that I've worked with. In my previous job, and worked with them, got to work with them, got to see them at work, but then actually got to know them outside of work a little bit. And one in particular, her husband he's been the homemaker from since they got married. And she was quite open about how they got that, why they made that choice. And it was kind of, she wanted the career, and she had the best opportunity to go and have a well-paid career that would give them and their family the life that they wanted. And that was the decision, and he decided that he wanted to stay at home and do that, and it was a team decision, right? I think that was one thing that I got from that conversation with her was it wasn't a assumed decision. It wasn't like, oh, that will be, that's the most money, so that's what it is. It was like they looked at it all and they were like, well, this path here gives us what we want. They loved each other, that was their thing. They loved each other. They were happily married, 2 beautiful kids. And she went off, became a career woman, and has gone incredibly far in an industry that's a very male-dominated industry. And we got to hang out with them more recently, and it was really nice to kind of see that and see it play out, and also hear from him like his take on it. Having done it for, their 2 kids now are about to go to college, so they haven't done this for 2 or 3 years. They've done this for 20, 30 years. They're at the end of that the process where they're now almost getting each other back and the kids going to college. So, and that I just thought it was really, I don't know if empowering is the right word. It was just refreshing, and it was just pleasant to see and understand and talk to somebody who would share that. And so I think for me, this, I know you say that it might flip back the other way, it might not. I'm no expectation. We're now going on this journey. We're committing to going to America, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be an adventure. It was a team decision. Yeah. This guy didn't really get a vote because he's a dog, but I think he's happy about it.
Yeah, because it's really ultimately, it was really nice to see them so happy with their decision, wasn't it? And it's. I think we even talked about how men sometimes have hang-ups because they feel pressured to be the breadwinner and have to take care of the family. It's on them and stuff, but it's really about what makes sense naturally and what you enjoy doing the most, and and that's why it can be both, right? It could be naturally that one person naturally wants to stay at home and take care of the kids, and that's all we do, and it's the rest of our life, or people also grow as well, and you change and evolve. So it's really about, I think, ultimately being flexible, and we have to keep talking, because if there is any change in mindset and stuff, it's important for us to let each other know and figure out what to do then.
Yeah, learning from your experience coming here, that's what we've taken away. Is we've got to make sure that we don't, we know year 1 is going to be tough. But we know, I think the thing for us is the experience. Our experience tells us month 4 will probably be really depressing.
And, we're already planning to make sure you get a chance to maybe fly back, or
well, I've got to come back for work anyway, so I think I've got to, it's not exactly it's not exactly the same, because I will be coming back here for work, and there's going to be a certain cadence to that, and I'll make, when I come back, I'll make sure I see people and things like that, so it's not going to be exactly the same, but we do know. And the times are different as well, if I remember correctly, because we pretty much land and start a brand new year in America. Yeah. So even though month 4 for you was, I think, getting into
December, January.
Yeah, something like that, December, January. So it was
January.
The bleakest thing, bleak England. Yeah. So being on your own in a new country when England's starting to become
pitch dark.
Yeah, it's not the most pleasant. Whereas for me, I'll be a bit more lucky. I'll be by month 4, it'll be starting to
dry up
and get towards the sun and stuff like that. So just the world will look at a slightly different place. The world outside the window, the world will still be a pile of shit, but we'll get through it.
Yeah. But do we have any advice for any other couples or partners or whatever?
God, I don't know. I think I've kind of said it. I think one, if you're a couple and you both got your careers, just don't ever assume that any one is more important than the other, because it isn't. Yeah. And that money doesn't come into it. Just because someone might earn more, whoever it might be, that shouldn't just be the focus. Unless you sit down and talk about it and you decide that's your focus. Because ultimately, when you come home from work, because for me, I work to live. I don't live to work. I think you're the same. And I think you've just got to try not to put so much emphasis on those hours of the day that you're out with a bunch of other people that you don't always like, all the people you work with. Or focus more on the person you enjoy being with, in the place that you enjoy being. Is the only thing I would say. Don't assume that money should dictate what's the most important or who has the most important career. Just talk to each other about what makes you happy and be honest with yourself and each other about what makes you happy, I think is anything I would say.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice. I think I would agree the most important thing is to talk with your partner and be really honest about what you want and then how you can find a balance with each other. Another advice for me would be maybe to talk to your friends, which we both did, because just kind of because for me at least, like, it was really hard to organize my thoughts, and it seems like it might be an easier decision to move back to Seattle because I had lived there once before, but at the same time moving back with the family this time and bringing someone is a bigger decision. It's not as light and casual as me just going as a single person picking up and moving. And so for me, like, talking to friends who really asked good questions, really knew me well, helped me really look and prioritize what is important in life for me. And it's funny because even though I'm going back for my career, through discussions with my friends, I realized that for me, I want to become a mother once we do eventually have kids, a mother who does have her own career and who does have her own passion besides raising the kids. And this has nothing to do with, career woman versus homemaker and stay-at-home wife, like none of that. I have huge respect, and I think you do need help from other people, and I do feel that I'm very lucky that you're willing to take on a lot of that or take on that role. So I do think that I'm not saying that my decision is the right one, but for me, I realize that's the kind of motherhood that I envision. So even from like my personal aspect in life, I realize career is important to me, and so it just kind of like made sense. It clicked when I started talking to my friends and talked about just kind of midterm, long-term future and how I envision myself to grow as a female. And so for me, talking to my female friends who are actually like stay-at-home mothers or people who really know me and have gone through having a kid and asking questions and sharing their stories made me realize what's important to me as well, and that helped make the decision. And so for me, talking to each other, but also making sure that you know what you really want and what's important to you when you communicate to the other person so that you don't confuse the partner is also important too.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Cool.
Good advice.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining in.
Yeah, cheers. See you in Seattle.
Yeah, we might do a part 2 if there's any interest, but hopefully this is helpful. And GGI is awesome. We love GGI.
It is awesome.
You love GGI too. And
I'm not allowed to go, but I love it.
Yeah, but you
I
love
met
that.
a lot of the crew, and they're all awesome.
All the girls, yeah.
Yeah, they're great.
And I plan to start a Seattle chapter, so if you are in Seattle or Redmond or Washington area, please look for that as well. So, thanks. Bye, guys.
Peace.